One of them is a local representative, Adam Schiff. He's the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. We asked him whether he considers the attack an intelligence failure.
Well, that's something we're very much eager to find out. We know that they were radicalized well before they met. We know, in fact, Farouk was radicalized years before this attack and probably well in advance of even ISIS formation. So we're trying to determine, was this something that we missed? There were electronic communications, online communications between Farouk and Malik, the female shooter, when she was in Pakistan. So they met each other online effectively and were radicalized before they got together in the United States. We're also investigating in terms of talking to neighbors and friends to try to determine, did people see something, did they hear something that if they had shared might have made a difference.
You know, there's a lot of concern about these so-called the possibility of arranged marriages and whether or not terror networks are using these arranged marriages to try and get other terrorists, if you will, into our country. How much of a concern is that for you?
At this point, we don't see evidence of an organizational link in the sense that we don't see ISIS placing her with him, but there's still we don't know about how they met, how they got together. They were, as I mentioned, radicalized before they met each other. So we're eager to get to the bottom of how this happened. Going forward, though, whatever the case is with these two shooters, we want to make sure that people aren't using marriage visas or fiancé visas as a way of avoiding even stronger security checks in terms of immigration. So this is a key interest of ours in the investigation.
So we're talking not only about a possible intelligence failure, but a possible immigration failure as well. We're hearing that she was never interviewed when she came into the country and that she gave a false address. Are those two things that everybody's looking into?
We are certainly interested in regardless of that, even if she was interviewed, even if the addresses were accurate, what did we miss? Is the interview process not enough? What are the odds, for example, someone's going to admit if they're radicalized? So this information has to be cross-checked with other sources of intelligence. It may be those other sources of intelligence that we're lacking here. And what we're trying to determine is there something that should have come to our attention? Often there will be, sometimes there just won't be.
Congressman, you are the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, and now for the second time now you have called for Congress to authorize the military to take on the Islamic State. You know, you're authorizing military force. This is the second time since February. Given that Farouk was American, that he lived here, that perhaps he was radicalized here, how do you think military force against these terror groups in the Middle East will help for the situation we saw here in San Bernardino?
Well, it's a great question. There is a real link between what's going on in Syria and Iraq and our security here at home. But if we look at this case here, where people may have been radicalized even before ISIS existed, you can see the limits of even obliterating ISIS's physical presence in Syria and Iraq, because this radicalization may have predated them. So it won't end the threat completely. If we can deprive, and when we do deprive ISIS of their governing space, it will reduce the threat, but it will become more diffuse, much like Al-Qaeda has been. That is a threat in many parts of the world, but not with the same capacity to attack us, to plan and plot against us, and without a lot of the inspiration that ISIS derives from having its so-called caliphate.
All right. Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you.